Hey guys, how's it going? Kripparrian here. Today I want to give you guys a sponsored Hero Academy 2 video where I talk about what I've learned about the game, the mechanics, and that kind of stuff. I have a link below if you guys want to check out the game. It is a cross-platform game. I have played the game only on PC, but it is also available for iOS devices, iOS, and Android if you wish to play. It's a pretty wonderful game. It's not, as you can see, you know, you guys have seen games that have this type of dynamic where you have cards, the cards become units, you move them around the map, and positioning matters, order matters, all that. You know, the type of game is not revolutionary or anything, but there's certainly some really good aspects in this game that I think you guys would love to check out. They sponsored me to play one short stream and do this video, and I ended up playing, in addition to the short stream, I ended up doing just a full night of Hero Academy 2. I thought I had barely scratched the surface of the game, and I really enjoyed my time playing it, so I devoted several more hours to playing, and I think with that experience I can give you guys a pretty good head start. A really important aspect to this game is that it actually launched just a few days ago, about 3 to 4 days I think, depending on when you guys catch this video, what time zone you're in. So it's a very new game, and as a result people are pretty new at it. I think it's a fairly high skill game, but more important than that, because it is a new game, everyone sucks. I won every single game that I played well in, and I lost a few games that I played absolutely terribly, and I won most of my games even when I played pretty well. I made lots of mistakes. You know, the fact that it's a new game makes it so everyone has a really good learning experience and chance at playing. It's a totally free game, and the pack system I think is fairly generous. But before that, let me give you guys just a bit of an intro on how it works so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So here I'm in the game. I'll show you guys the different aspects in a second, but I just want to give you guys a little bit of explanation to the gameplay. I'm just going to run a practice match. The match has a fully 3D and interactive game board. I don't know what all the game boards are like, but each one has some kind of interesting rule set. So in this one, the Tree House Tussle, the old forest fuels the mighty power tiles. Heroes gain +1 damage while standing on them. So, okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, so a lot of these things I've learned through trial and error, but most of these things I have learned through the challenge modes. There's a lengthy learning process that's available to you should you choose to go through it, but you can also learn just by playing a ranked mode, and I think the base deck will get you there pretty well. Again, just because it's a new game, it's a high skill game, and everyone is on the same playing field. So you win by killing your opponent's crystals. Your opponent typically has 2 crystals, but based on the stage, if you're playing some of the challenger modes, I've seen as many as 4. The HP points in the PvP matches are 10, but again, they vary wildly in the challenge modes and PvE encounters and all that. There's a lot to the game, as you'll find out. So if you look at a unit, we have the Bow Maiden here. It costs 3, so you start with 3 if you go first, I believe, 5 if you go second, and you gain 5 per turn. Your mana is pooled, but it has a cap of 10, and more important than that, you have a hand size maximum of 5. So if you're at 5 cards, you can discard a card to try to redraw, but the deck sizes are only 30 cards, so not that big. So to do that, it can be the wise decision, but you should be careful. Early on, I was discarding a card every single turn, and I'm not sure that's really the best practice. I think you only want to do it when you really have weak cards, because if you're playing kind of a control deck, and a lot of decks are controlled because of the ranged cards, as you'll see in a moment, having some cards at the end of your deck when your opponent doesn't have any is a pretty big advantage, even though there is no fatigue mechanic. You just don't have any cards left, so you can't get any new things, but your opponent's getting new stuff, so you kind of get overwhelmed if you've discarded too much, and that's why I think you should be a little bit careful. But of course, if you're playing more of an aggressive deck, that's probably not very important. So, this unit costs 3. It's a ranged unit. You can typically have 2 of one card in your deck, and this special abilities, you can have 4 of them. That's a pretty weak special ability, but it's whatever. I think most ranged units are actually very powerful in general, so this is a pretty good card. It has 1 damage, and damage is pretty light on the ranged units because they are pretty powerful, so buffs are really powerful on ranged units, but if you have a deck with too many buffs, your opponent will basically outcard you because you're using multiple cards per unit while they can remove it or use bigger units to kill those. So there's a lot of play and counterplay in this game. But I'm not sure. What should we do here? Let's just, for the sake of playing something, let's play the Bow Maiden and take advantage of the territorial stage here. It'll gain 1 attack. So you can see I have 1 green orb cycling around the unit here. This means I can perform 1 action. I can move to any of the blue squares, or as a ranged unit, I can attack right away. If I played like a melee unit like this guy, I don't think I want to play him because I want to play the Hammer Lord next turn, so I want to have 6 mana next turn, and to gain 5 next turn, I need to not use 2 of these. But, yeah, so we're not going to play that guy. But if I had a melee unit, he'd have to be very close here because attacking is an action and moving is an action. So you can move and attack. You cannot attack and move unless you have the Vicious ability, which allows you to just do any kind of actions times 2. A Vicious unit, if it's in melee range, can actually attack twice. So there's a lot of mechanics that you'll learn quite fluidly through the challenge modes. So here, I can choose to attack that. Units counterattack in this game, but because it's a ranged unit attacking a melee unit, there is not going to be any counterattack in this situation. Now, ranged units cannot counterattack in melee range. Ranged units have minimum range. But it's important to note that only the up, down, side to side is considered 1 adjacent. So, for instance, if this unit was over here, if it was on the diagonal from my ranger, that's still considered range because only up and down matter. So that would be 2 away, right? 2 away, 1 and then 1. It's not a diagonal measurement. So if you want to melee something, you can't melee on a diagonal. You have to melee on an up, down, side to side. You also see here that my hero power has highlighted. I can choose to heal a hero. Hero is kind of like a unit. That's what they call units in this game. I can heal a hero for 1. I can actually heal my opponent's little spiderling here. What is this? Tomb Crawler. Frail, it dies right away. It has poison, and when it dies, an ally gains 1 damage. It's actually a pretty powerful card. And you can see what all the abilities do. Everything is very well self-explained in the game. Anyway, so I have another hero power. So you basically have 2 powers. You can use a power once each time, so I could use both of these on the same turn if I chose to. They're typically low tempo powers, and they have fairly high situational deck-defining abilities. So I have the Enhanced Sword power. I have an Enhanced Hammer power, but I haven't opened the Enhanced Bow, or is it Bow? Yeah, Enhanced Bow power. So I have a lot of bow units just because I like to play these bow units and kind of out-zoo/control my opponent with this type of deck. But haven't opened that hero power. It is a card. The hero power is a card. They're hero power cards that you open through the packs, but it doesn't matter too much. These are the starting hero powers, and again, I think these are both very, very strong. If I had the bow hero power, I probably would replace the sword, but I'm not sure. You need tanks in front of your range units in this game. Anyway, so let's just go through 1 turn cycle. He's probably going to move into melee range, attack my guy. I will not counterattack. I didn't realize this had poison. Poison is an effect that stays on a character, and it costs take 1 damage at the start of its owner's turn, and that's a little bit of a problem because that actually one-shotted my guy and I didn't counterattack. You can see that there's actually a body of a unit here, and that is pretty interesting. There is revival mechanics in this game. That's why Frail here, it's a permanent death, so frail heroes die when KO'd, so you cannot revive the Tomb Crawler. There's a lot of little mechanics that you'll notice that you'll probably just learn best through play rather than me explaining them to you. So if we play a Hammer Lord here, if we overwrite a body here, there we go, we just smash the previous body. The previous body is out. What random smasher do we get? We got a giant rat. So it has 5 attack, plus 2, it has 2 attack, but 2 from the ability of the random hammer unit and 1 from its positional effect. Yeah, pretty whatever unit, but it has 1 action point, so we'll just smash that guy. There we go. And I've used up most of my mana. I can choose to maybe cycle this card just to show you guys how the mechanic works. It does actually discard the card, does not put it back in your deck. And you see the opponent has 2 action points, but he chose to attack first. So typically you can do like move, attack. Sometimes you can gain increases to the distances that you can move. So you can do like large moves and attack. There are some buffs that provide additional action points. So you might be able to do like a move attack. This unit has swipe. It's a pretty powerful basic unit. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Anyway, let's concede this match. I want to quickly go over the other aspects of the game and how I've learned to best use them there. So you see you lose when the crystals go away. There's some pretty cool grindy games that you can experience should you choose to play the sword/ranged deck. Now that is what I was playing. I'm playing the Council. So there's 3 main classes in this game. You can play Council, you can play Dark Elf, which has a lot of like poison and summoning mechanics, or Warden. Warden's pretty interesting. It creates like terrain with like brambles. It has a lot of ranged units. The hero power of the Warden is really interesting. I don't know if I can find that here. I probably have to make a deck. Anyway, one of the hero powers creates wisps, which generate mana, but because you can only have a total of 5 units on the field, the wisps take up that unit count. So you need to ramp to bigger guys, but bigger guys are countered by spells. So very interesting play and counterplay. You open most of these cards through packs. You get a lot of them through the challenge modes. You unlock packs by just completing them and just getting gold and stuff. Also, you unlock cards by just collecting a certain number of cards. So I unlock this guy, just collect it now. When I get another copy if I collect another 24 council cards. So a lot of the powerful cards are just accumulated when you just open enough packs. And again, I put like no money in this account. I'll go over that in a second. The other tribes, the Gladiator, Viking, and Vermin, they're kind of like the neutral tribes. So these are all neutral cards. You can play them in any one of those classes. So there's basically 3 primary classes and 3 neutral classes. Viking, Vermin are like little rat dudes. Pretty cool. So I spent a little bit of money. I actually bought like $10 worth of gems because I wanted to unlock one of the paid campaigns just to highlight some more content. But I only did like half of that. So my account is really very much a free-to-play account. I bought a quest line that I didn't even complete. But actually after I did that, I noticed the starter packs are much better than that. So I spent $10 to get 1,200 gems. When you start an account for like the first week or so, I think, you can get the starter pack and the card package. And this is like $15 worth of gems. 30,000 gold buys you 2 packs. So this is much better. Try the game. It's a free game. You can certainly be competitive free to play right now because people are just not very experienced at the game. So you don't need to pay anything. You just try it, have some fun. There's a lot of content. You're gonna love it. One more neutral, and we get the Ice Stone Magus. That's a very powerful card, by the way. All right. And yeah, if you like the game, if you're playing long term, if you wish to support the company for the good game that they made, send some money their way, buy some of the packages if you wish. You can also buy some of the campaigns, as I mentioned. So you get the intro campaign. You should do these because they teach you how to play quite effectively, in my opinion. You can do the Council campaign, the Dark Elves, the Warden campaigns, and the other ones are purchased. So I purchased the Council Rescue. So basically when you purchase a campaign, like if I want to purchase this one, it'll give you 4 Ultra Dark Elf packs. These are like really good packs. I think Ultra packs, yeah, they have a legendary guarantee. I've done half of the Council campaign, but the legendaries I got are not very useful to the type of deck that I was playing. So again, I'm not free to play, but I might as well be because I did half of the campaign, which is the only thing I paid for, and I'm not even using the cards I got from those packs yet, at least. So those are the campaigns. There's also the challenges, which also do a very good job of teaching you how to play. There's a training one. Each one of these has 8 chapters: Advanced Training, Council, Dark Elf, Warden. The elite packs are unlocked upon reaching certain levels, and the levels are reached by just playing the game. I've seen people like level 30 and stuff, even in my own guild. So these very similar to all the others. They have 8 chapters. They teach you an aspect of the game that you're probably not particularly knowledgeable in, and if you do that, you get a normal pack, which is the type of pack I had just opened there. There's a few purchased ones, but these are very cheap, and they don't really offer packs, I don't think. I don't know, I haven't bought one yet, but you say they get gold experience, and you get like a vanity crystal, so I'm assuming these are like microtransactions. I'm not too sure. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I'll probably play for a little while longer. I think it's a very nice game, and I think for this type of game, getting in early, which we are in that stage right now, is a really good time. You know, a lot of the time when there's some really great games out there, you regret not playing them when they first came out. Well, you can bypass that this time around. I think it's a very good game, and I think you guys will have some fun checking it out. So please do. Please use my link if you will. I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.